Do K cars work in Australia? That is the question for today's episode of Drive, and Mitsubishi thinks it has the answer. This is a Mitsubishi EK Cross EV, the world's smallest electric car. It's said to blend SUV-like design qualities in Japan's unique K car size class. Now, we only have the vehicle for a short amount of time. We've got wind, we've got impending rain, and we are underneath a flight path. But I really do want to show you around this car, both inside and out, before going for a test drive. First and foremost, I want to show you just how tiny this car is. Now, it's said to be roughly 1 metre smaller than a Mitsubishi ASX small SUV and size comparable to a Suzuki Swift. For reference, I'm 194 centimetres tall and it looks positively tiny in my shadow. Design-wise, it uses a lot of the unique dynamic shield styling language that is seen on other Mitsubishis. In particular, you will see a lot of the Mitsubishi Triton in its front fascia, but it is blended to a weird, unique, boxy design language. I've heard conflicting things about its styling. It sounds like a love it or hate it affair, but let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Mitsubishi Australia sees the EK Cross EV as an exciting opportunity for Australia. However, questions over its safety remain a barrier to its entry into Australia. The car was engineered primarily for the Japanese market, which means it has a different safety standard to Australia's independent ANCAP organisation. It could be re-engineered for a 5-star ANCAP result, though it would then drive the asking price too high. This is one of the internal battles Mitsubishi is currently weighing in its consideration for Australia. In Japan, the top spec EK Cross EV is priced around the $30,000 mark, which would make it one of Australia's most affordable electric cars, especially compared to Chinese rivals such as the GWM Aura and BYD Dolphin. But as for the EK Cross EV, it comes with a 20 kilowatt-hour battery which sends power to a 47 kilowatt and 195 Nm motor mounted on the front axle. They're small outputs in today's age, but the EK Cross EV only weighs about 1,100 kilograms, really lightweight for an electric vehicle especially. With that in mind, the EK Cross EV is claimed to travel 180 kilometers between charges. It can also offer vehicle-to-home and vehicle-to-load capabilities to manage power supply shortfalls. Plug it into a wall outlet and the small Mitsubishi will charge in roughly 8 hours, or it'll DC fast charge to 80% in about 40 minutes. Well, here we are inside the Mitsubishi EK Cross EV's cabin, and it's kind of a story of two tales, because down here with my legs and interior space, it is a little bit constrained. There is obviously no center console between the front driver and the passenger, and I'm sat right next to the passenger here. There's not a lot of space when you are two up in the front row, but otherwise, it's actually a decent amount of space inside the cabin. I've got acres of headroom. Mitsubishi has gone up rather than out in this car. I've got a good amount of space for my dead pedal on my left foot, and my knees are a little bit constrained by the dash here, but otherwise I'm sat in a nice comfortable driving position and I've got a good handy position to control all elements of the interior. For amenities and comforts, you do get a lot of kit on this top spec Mitsubishi EK Cross EV. It does have heated seats, heated steering wheel, an e-pedal mode for the electric drivetrain, as well as things like automatic parking. But I'm finding that I'm really not missing out on any kind of equipment here. It is really well specified at this affordable level. Even the materials used inside this cabin feel nice, plush and compliant. I'm sat in a really nice plush seat base here, and it feels really good to the touch as well. In terms of infotainment, it's got a 9-inch display running Mitsubishi's own system. It also comes with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connectivity, but the Mitsubishi system is straightforward and easy to control. I can't believe that the tech interface is like what you get in more expensive models in the Mitsubishi range, like the Outlander midsize SUV. The fact that the brand's been able to incorporate that into this tiny cheap car is hugely impressive. One final thing I want to mention on interior space for the EK Cross EV, it is really narrow. I can really easily touch that left-hand door there on the door card, but for the most part, while it is cramped and constrained, it's not really unlivable, and it does have all the amount of space that you really do need for everyday use. Now, talking space in the second row, it is tight. My knees are a little bit constrained behind my own driving position, but overall, I'm finding that I'm pretty comfortable and I could definitely spend a decent amount of time back here. There's not that much to talk about in terms of amenities. You do get mat pockets, and this does recline as needed, but overall, there's a decent amount of comfort, and obviously there's a huge amount of headroom with that tall glass house as well. As we've established, it's very small, which won't suit every person. But how does it fare on Australian roads? Let's go find out. One of the first things I want to mention about the Mitsubishi EK Cross EV is its ride comfort levels, it's really quite composed going over speed humps. You do have to remember that this car does have a tight wheelbase, both in terms of front to back and also side to side. So you do have to actually go quite slow over speed humps, but even then it does fare really well and it just absorbs road impacts really impressively. The EK Cross EV does draw power from a 20 kilowatt hour battery. Now it does power a 47 kilowatt and 195 Newton meter front motor, which does actually output a decent amount of shove. We have 3 people on board at the moment. We've got my videographer from Drive and also a Mitsubishi Australia representative. And if I put my foot down now, it does result in a decent amount of output, and it's exactly what you want from an around town small electric vehicle. One thing I will mention is the fact that it doesn't have the body composure of a small SUV. It does feel a little bit top heavy, but at the same time, look at the car. It is quite tall, but it is faring quite well around these suburban Victorian roads. Obviously, being an electric vehicle, it is nice and quiet inside the cabin. I'm hearing a little bit of wind noise at the speeds that we're doing right now, but overall, it's actually decently quiet and refined. In terms of its size and structure, we're driving it around suburban Melbourne at the moment. And it does feel a little bit diminutive between road markings, but it doesn't feel out of place at all. We've driven it alongside trucks and it does have enough go to sort of overtake and go around them, and it feels quite steady in its sort of positioning on the road. Against Mitsubishi's claim of 180 k's of driving range, this car has been showing around 140 kilometers on a 96% charge. Now obviously we do have this car 3-up, so it does have a little bit of extra weight on board, but that is basically all you'll need from a small around town urban electric vehicle. Do note that there are a few concessions that you would have to make if you did buy a K-sized car like this, but at the same time, it does fit a certain purpose, and for the price that you would pay, I'm actually really impressed by the Mitsubishi EK Cross EV. Australians have been crying out for affordable electric vehicles, and this car squarely fits a bill. Now, the Mitsubishi EK Cross EV won't be to every buyer's requirements, but in our short time with the car, we have found that it does have a decent amount of interior space, a decent amount of practicality, and its tech interface is really quite impressive for the price that you would pay. As well, it really goes quite decently on the road. Now, tell us what you think. Do you think this would fit on Australian roads? Does it have a market? Let us know in the comments below. You can read the full quick drive review on Drive.com.au, and be sure to give us a like if you've enjoyed this little quick video on YouTube.